Greetings, Warhammer enthusiasts, and all the others. I am not a witcher, no, today I am a simple Dawi. And also I am an Azrai of Athelloren, and I have a question for you. Are you the real practic who compares all the races in detail and chooses the most effective one? Or are you guided by the aesthetics or even your moral principles when choosing your faction and lord? In any case, if you go telling people on the internet which one is your favorite, you might learn something new about yourself. And here are some things that others will think of you when they learn your favorite faction. There is no particular order. If you are an admirer of mighty Dawi, then you probably like books, and you like holding grudges. And where do you keep your grudges? In your heart. You keep them in your heart. The book is mostly ceremonial. And also you've probably heard every kind of a height joke already. And believe me, the list is not brief. Oh yes, and do not forget that you probably have many friends. And if one of those friends would one day present you with a gift, let's say a shaving razor, you would probably freak out, grab your ex, trash their car and start a generational conflict which would result in some group of high school bullies occupying the remains of your living room. And now you have less friends, and many, many filled pages in your favorite book. If Wood Elves seem like the best nation to you, then you're a good-for-nothing tree-hugging, knife-eared leaf lover, according to almost any fan of dwarves on the internet. Or wait, is it about high elves? No matter, an Elgi is an Elgi. And to everybody else, you're just a hardcore fan of Tolkien, or a hardcore hippie. And you don't even understand why you should be offended by tree-hugger or leaf lover. If the Empire is your choice, you're alright.
You're alright, girl.
You probably like strong men with big hammers, but maybe people misunderstand you and you just really into fancy pants or fluffy feathers or self-flagellation. The possibilities are endless. And let's not forget early firearms, the weapons of war that instill fear not just in your enemies.
I once saw it rip a bloke's face off, along with half his body.
Such an accurate shot. From how many paces?
None. He was the one doing the shooting.
If Britannia tickles your fancy, then you are a fan of medieval romance. And you probably like horses. Like, really like them.
You're alright, girl.
And it is totally understandable when all your women look like this, and the only one woman that every Bretonian man really wants is actually an aspect of an elven goddess. Those poor mayflies. By the way, poor mayflies, stay away from the forests, just in case. Otherwise, all your holy relics will not save you. Wow, those guys come prepared for anything. Are there any snacks in those? If high elves are your favorite, people often think that you are boring, and for some reason your favorite ice cream flavor is vanilla. I mean, what's wrong with vanilla? Is it not tasty? And also you probably do not use any swear words and always try to be polite, and polite people are pretentious, arrogant pricks, right? How dare they tell others what's bad for them, like they know better after living thousands of years, and why are they always so clean? Fuck them! If you're a fan of greenskins, then you probably had a good time playing sports in school. Are you still in touch with the boys? Do you still struggle with grammar? Also, you probably consider Zap Brannigan a brilliant tactician.
You see, killbots have a preset kill limit. Knowing their weakness, I sent wave after wave of my own men at them.
It is highly possible that you are also a fan of Warhammer 40k orcs, who are just the same as in Warhammer Fantasy, but spelled with a K for some important lore reason. If the Dark Elves are your favorite, many will sarcastically call you emo, goth, BDSM lover, and Slanashi on a budget. And don't try to deny that you only play them because Marathi.
Yeah, there's a reason why the number of Druki cosplay on the internet is second only to the mighty Dawi. So yes, if edgy sexy elves are your favorite, it really is an aesthetic choice.
If you like decaying flesh and scaring everybody by the sheer quantity of your decaying flesh, there's two options for you. Good old grandfather Nurgle, nobody can beat him at the quantity of decaying flesh. But if you are more like an old school gothic fan, you probably like your old school vampire count. I'm trying very hard to say count, for YouTube reasons.
Maybe you're into pale chicks without eyebrows, or maybe you just hear romance in Necromancer.
And speaking of decaying flesh, if your preferred faction is Nurgle,
I really don't know who would prefer Nurgle. Epidemiologists?
if you tell somebody that the Ogre Kingdoms is your jam, be ready, people will automatically think that you're a glutton. And if it's online, they will imagine you being fat and ugly.
Yeah, somehow it doesn't work in the other direction if you tell that you like elves. Oh, and be ready to hear many jokes about body positivity. And questions like, are there any female ogres?
Yeah, very original. If you prefer Beastmen, I'm sorry, I meant if Beastmen tickle your... if you're excited by... Okay, there's no good way to explain how many bestiality jokes will you hear, especially online, if you praise these bulls and goats.
And don't forget about your nomadic lifestyle and the piles of feces that you leave after you defeat your enemies, or flee from them. Yeah, people really have quite limited imagination when it comes to beastmen. Actually, it's true about any race.
If you feel strange affinity to Warriors of Chaos, then you're probably looking for a sense of belonging, camaraderie, and brotherhood, and plundering for the Chaos Gods, and big horny helmets. Just saying, you can get 2 out of 3 in another way.
And if you just wish to see the world burn, hey, do you want to talk to somebody? No? Okay.
If you're a fan of Kislev, people will think you're Russian, and call you comrade or even tovarish, and ask for vodka. It's just the same as with Cathay. If you like them most, then you must be Asian, right? Wrong! If you like Kislev, it could only mean that you're into bears.
Don't you think you're getting really repetitive with those jokes? Any fresh material? No?
If you like Skaven more than all the others, you're probably an engineered. Or you just love all the camaraderie and brotherhood of those who work in sales.
Yes, yes! Maybe you've had a pet rat and dressed him up as a little globadier or a mighty storm vermin, and then in 2 years he died from natural causes and left you broken and bitter and sad, and now you hate everybody.
If Grand Cathay is your nation of choice, then you probably know what wuxia means, and saw every movie of Zhang Yimou. Maybe you even own a pair of nunchucks. Maybe you even know that while the word nunchaku is Japanese, but the weapon itself was invented in China. Nerd.
Also, did you know that Feng Shui is not some ancient art and it was invented in 20th century? So, all your harmony is just a placebo effect on your troops.
If Norska is your favorite, then people will immediately pity you, because this faction haven't got any love since the first Total War Warhammer game. And yes, you probably really like Vikings, and werewolves, and everything in between.
And you've probably heard that real Vikings did not use horned helmets, but maybe Norskans got their helmets from dwarves. Here's a theory for you lore enthusiasts. Now go disprove it in the comments.
If the Vampire Coast is your favorite vacation destination, you're quite a jolly fella. Sea shanties, rum, and occasional lost limb or two remind you of good old times when Pirates of Caribbean was still a great franchise, and maybe you even have some Irish ancestry?
Or maybe you just really like the word booty. If you like the Lizardman most, then the first thought of everyone will of course be about the Jurassic Park and how you like dinosaurs. Maybe you even wanted to be a paleontologist when you were a kid, but then again, who didn't?
From the other hand, maybe you like Mesoamerican cultures and think that they are quite underrepresented in media. But of course no one will think of that, they will just joke about your dinosaur fetish. If the cursed chaos dwarfs are the best in your opinion, then you're a fan of technology, oppression, and slave labor. You'd feel right at home working for Amazon.
And you're a fan of fancy hats. But then again, who isn't?
If the Tomb Kings are the faction for you, then your favorite shape is Prismatoid. And all your D&D dice have this shape, and how do you even roll that?
Honestly, I have tried so hard to think of any joke that wouldn't be connected to ancient Egypt, but I failed. And so you probably got the idea what jokes will you be hearing about your favorite faction. Spoiler alert, they will heavily feature the word mummy.
If Slaanesh is for you, well, do I even have to say this?
It's like when you got bored even with the Dark Elves, but still wish for some excitement. Probably better not to tell anyone that Slaanesh is your favorite. Khorne followers are supposed to be really angry dudes. However, considering that in fantasy people often look for something that they lack in the real life, it is possible that if you like Khorne, you are the most polite and nice person in your office, and everybody believes that you couldn't hurt a fly.
But when you're at home, blood for the blood god! Tzeentch is difficult. The change, the mystery, the chaos. Let's say you just like big blue birds. Here, finished.
Maybe you really like magic. Maybe as a kid you was fascinated by David Copperfield and learned several card tricks to impress your friends. And then you got older and had to get a real job, but inside you still crave the power. Power even over time itself. Isn't that a reason enough to like Tzeentch, the Lord of Change?
No, I'd say it's the bluebird thing. Well, that was some stereotypes and memes about your favorite faction in Total War Warhammer 3. Am I proud of this video?
Well, thank you for watching this. Consider subscribing to my channel if you like videos like this. I'm still Not-a-witchr, and as always, take care and farewell.